Okay, I think we're going to get started. Thank you very much for your coming and joining Amber and I to do this cute, adorable little back class. If you are comfortable, it would be very helpful for us if you turn on your video just so that we can see if we need to slow down or go faster. If you're not comfortable or you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I do have my chat on here. So if you don't have your video on and we're going too fast or you have a question, please, you can either unmute yourself and then ask the question, or you can jot it down in the chats and I will answer as we go along. My name is Dori and I'm the retail manager here at Meadowbrook Boards. Everything you see behind you is my home away from home. I've been with the company since the very beginning, and it's grown a lot and I've learned a lot. So, and this is Amber.
Hello. Yeah, so I've been here. I work back in the production, and I am what we call a gourd beautician. So I do a lot of the finishing touches to the gourd. So doing the eyes, gluing heads on, doing scarves, anything you can think of to finish that gourd out is what I would be doing, and I love it. I've been doing that since full-time since 2019. I started out on the farm crew, which we can explain farm crew a little later.
As we go through.
But that's always fun, and I still do that. So yeah.
Amber's going to go over all the parts that you have in your kit, but just I'm still admitting people. So in the meantime, for the next couple of seconds here, it would be very helpful if you got like a small bowl of water so that you can wash your paintbrush, maybe some paper towels, a paper plate to mix up some paints. And if you have baby wipes, they are wonderful for if you make little boo-boo on your gourd, or to wipe off your hands. So if you don't already have that, if you want to take a couple seconds here and go and get that. In the meantime, Amber is going to go over the parts that should be in your kit. If for some reason you are missing something, you can shoot me an email. I'll put my email in the chat and just let me know, and then we'll make sure we get it out to you right away.
All right. So all of your stuff should have come in, I think, like 2 different separate bags. I had already opened all that and put it all over the table. So you might have to like pull out of your bags if you haven't, and that's okay. So the thing I'll say that you will need is a paintbrush. So you should have 1 paintbrush. Gourd. You should have 2 tips. You can have a toothpick. I packaged these up, so.
Well, you can blame her then if you're missing something.
Yep, if you're missing something, I apologize. You should have 2 of your bat wings. Have the body, which has the little slits in them. And then you should have the head. It has the mouth. You should have a hay bale with a stem, or like a wire stem, and a sign that says boo. You should have your paint liquid in these 2 containers. 2 of them are black and the 1 is white. Yeah. And then you should have a glue pod, which it should be just a single glue pod. So no one should have it with the paint. So just make sure you know that's you should have a little bag of greenery. It's mainly like a tan color, so less green because it's fall. You should have a wood biscuit and a little ribbon for the bow. That should be pretty much everything in the kit that you got. Like Dori said, if you don't have anything, please let us know. I apologize because I was the one that packaged them up again. Okay. So yeah. So
can we mute everybody who isn't talking, because you're being cut out by everybody else?
I have a phone number of 717
Mom.
Everyone can hear me?
Okay, and I will double check tomorrow. Okay.
All right, so I think we have most people in.
Nope, no, you're good. Okay,
Okay, I'll just wait till Dori gets back and then we will start. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna glue our little wire stem to the back of our sign. That way this can dry for us. So you'll need your blue sign and your little wire stem. You will need your glue pod and then a Q-tip. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you open up that glue pod and your Q-tip, not your Q-tip, but you'll use your Q-tip and dip that into your glue. And all you're gonna do is put a line on the back of your sign. Now, what I'll tell you is you wanna make sure that line is in the direction that you want your sign to be glued on. As you can see, this one here is at an angle. So if you want that sign to be glued at an angle, you want to make your line on the back of glue at an angle. And you're more than welcome to keep it straight up and down if you would like. And this can be sticking, the stem can be sticking over if you would like.
and mine isn't, so.
Yeah, so whatever way you want to do it.
Okay, and if you see me popping up out of my seat, I'm not leaving or anything. I'm also the technical person. So some people are having trouble getting in. And so I'm checking my emails and my phone calls just to make sure that everybody gets in.
Okay, and then you'll just want to lay that to the side. We'll be back with that. I would close your glue pod, but keep that Q-tip that you used already. So that
Show
we
us
can-
one more time what you did, because we missed it. Sorry.
That's okay. All I did was I took the sign here. You should have the boo sign and this wired stem, and I'm just gluing it to the back of the sign. So I just put a bead of glue down the back of that sign and stuck that stem on. And then I'm just gonna sit that to the side. Let's go ahead and paint. So you'll need your paintbrush and your paints. Let's paint those wings, one side of the wings first. Now, when you go to paint these wings, this part, I don't know if you can tell, so you can see these two bumps or humps in the gore or the wood here. This pointed, very pointed end here is what's going to go into the gourd. So use that to hold to put it into the gourd so that you don't get your hands all painted up. This paint does come off the hands real easy, but clothes otherwise, not so much.
Okay, should we wet, I haven't painted with the black paint in a while. Should we water it down a little bit?
So the black paint for the wood, I would not
Okay.
water down your paint.
Okay, so that's just gonna be full on.
Yes, otherwise it's gonna look like washed out. It's not gonna look solid like this here.
Okay.
I can't even get it out.
And I'm also painting the little tiny part, like the edges, so because you're gonna see those. So has everybody done a class with us before, or is this some of you, some new ones?
Let me turn it out. Yes, I've done classes.
Good. Some names I recognize. Some of you I probably talked to. And you said do both of them?
Yes, I
Okay.
would do both wings.
Okay, so for those of you who are close by and may not know, we have sunflowers. Every year we grow about 50 acres of sunflowers, and we stagger our planting so that when one field is going out, one field is coming in. And so our sunflowers are beautiful right now. The second field is blooming. The third field is just about to start. And then this weekend we have our sunflower festival. And we have lots of people who come from all over. They pick the free sunflowers because we don't charge for our sunflowers. And then we have food trucks and art vendors and trolley rides around the field. And so pretty much that's what's going on right now with the farm. Gourds are still growing because we haven't had a frost yet. And our soybean that we plant also is starting to turn brown. So that should be getting ready to harvest here soon. But that's about it. So,
All right. If you're still painting away on those wings, that's okay. We're still going to use our paint, so take your time. I just did the one side, so I'm going to come back later and do the other side once I get a coat on the head and the body here. So I'm going to start with the body. I'm going to stick my hands underneath into this hole here. I'm going to stick them up there, spread the fingers out, and that's how I'm going to hold this to paint it. And you just go ahead and paint it.
do we have to do the rim, the flat rim at the bottom of the hole?
Do not.
Okay. And should this be watered down at all, or is this not necessary?
No, the paint is already
Okay.
very thin, so I would not. If you're having like a lot of streaks, or you can just tell that your paint is not going on smoothly and it's very rough, then lightly dab it into your water just to get it a little bit moisture in there, and that'll help it go on a little bit smoother.
Okay, so you had said you were on farm crew. While they're painting, we can talk here. So you said you were on farm crew. So what's the next thing that would be coming up for farm crew?
So right now, once we get that first frost, we will go out and pick the gourds off of the vine. So we'll take clippers out like you would use as if you went to like a pumpkin patch or out here in our sunflower fields. To cut those off, we use just clippers like that you can buy in a store. We go out, we clip them off of the vines, and then we lay them out into the field. We don't actually pick them up until springtime. And that is because the gourds need that moisture and sunlight to harden, as you feel on these gourds.
So they're just left out in the field to dry.
Yes.
Okay. Some people have a problem, they don't understand that we can leave them out, but it's really hard to bring 25 to 35 acres of gourds in to try and dry them. So, and yes, we do have some that rot. They don't all dry, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Yes. All right. When you go to set this down, don't worry about touching the very top of it, just because you're going to set your head on top of that gourd. So it doesn't matter if you get fingerprints on the top of it.
I can't get my fingers out.
So that was the first coat. I'm going to go back to the head, or not back. I'm going to start with the head and go ahead and put a coat of paint on that.
You have nothing on, like I already got. Oh, my time's coming.
And again, with this, I wouldn't worry about painting the very bottom sanded portion of that.
Okay, do we need to paint the stem?
You don't have to. As you can see, the original here is painted. I always like to paint my stem. To me, it feels more complete and looks more complete, but you do not have to. It's just a preference thing.
And the other thing too is there's some very fine lines right around the mouth. You don't have to worry too much about getting it in there just because it's black and it just kind of blends in. But if it does bother you, you can use your little toothpick to try and get the paint out.
And then once you get a good first coat on your head and your body, you can go back to your wings and do,
The other side.
yep. So we're basically right now just trying to coat our gourd and the wings of the piece so that we can go back then once it's all good and dry to glue it together. And it's up to you if you would want a second coat on your wings. If you think your first coat that you did on the other side is good and you don't want another one, that's totally fine. If so, you can go ahead and do another coat on that as well. Like we said before, you are gonna see both sides whenever you set this board around in your house come Halloween time. So I would just do both sides.
It'll come on.
Everybody doing okay? Are we going too fast or just right?
Good.
Okay. Great. And it looks like everybody's painting away.
So I said earlier that I do a lot of the finishing touches to the gourds, but that does not include painting like this. So I actually don't hand paint any of the gourds that come through. We actually have a spray booth that sprays our paints on for us. Now they are hand sprayed. So someone will stand back in our spray booth and spray each and every one of the gourds. So like for this bat, if we would have it come through, it would be glued together and they would spray it all in one piece. So the wings would be put in and everything, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Now we do hand dye all of our gourds. We do take a paintbrush with a dye and we will paintbrush the dye onto the gourds. So that is something that we do use a paintbrush. And I sometimes help out with the dye station, but that is not part of the gourd beautician.
Sorry. Our sample was not glued together. So every time we touch it, something falls apart.
All right, I'm just waiting for my pieces to dry. So anybody that's continuing to paint away, go ahead and paint away. Yeah. So there's not
I don't
much-
think I'm going to need a second coat on my wings. My body and my head definitely, but not my.
For sure. Yeah, my wings are good. So I think they will be perfectly fine.
Is everybody ready for fall weather, or is everybody are you kind of sad to see summer go? Because I'm really looking forward to some cooler weather.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I mean, of course, we live in Pennsylvania. I love all the seasons that we have, like, but I'm ready to go into the new season once they come.
Yep.
So I'm ready for some cooler weather.
For sure. I
Okay.
am sad to see summer go though.
Yeah,
I love my summers, but I love fall too. So
I'm ready to do my second coat on
I
my
think
body.
so. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do another coat on the body. Now it's your preference. If you're looking at your gourds and you think that they look great to you and they look like how you want them to be, you're more than welcome to not put
On
a
the
second
bottom.
coat. Yeah, if you do not want to. But I think mine looks
Workshop there.
a little bit.
We did when they do have their dryers that they bring in.
For those of you who do a lot of our Zoom classes, our next Zoom classes are going to be in November. We know what they're going to be, but we don't know what they're going to look like. They haven't actually been designed yet. So just keep an eye out. We should be put on the website and in our newsletter the beginning of October. So if you want to keep an eye out for those of you who don't get our newsletter, it would be maybe a good idea if you like doing these classes to just get on, because that's the first place that we post them. And to do the newsletter, you just go to our website on the home page, just scroll to the bottom, and you will see the little fill-ins that you have to fill in order to get to the newsletter. But I know the fly. We have a fly. I guess he wants to be part of the class.
I do want to let you know the little slits that are in your body here, you do not have to get your paint down in there. So you don't have to worry about that. I will say you want to make sure that there isn't a lot of paint in there, just because sometimes the wings are just a little bit harder to get in because it's a tight fit. And you'll realize when we go to do that how tight of a fit it is. But we do that so that you don't actually have to end up doing it. So I'm just taking my toothpick and getting in the little slit there. But again, that's something you don't have to do. I've just used a lot of paint. So mine is definitely,
She has blobs of paint is what she's saying.
yeah. All right. So it looks like a second coat actually covered that pretty well. So I think once you do 2 coats on your body and your head, it'll be perfect. That's if you didn't water your paint down. If you watered your paint down, then it'll probably
Need another.
yeah. So now we just need to wait for them to dry.
Are we done with the black? I guess we are, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna clean out my brush.
We're just cleaning out our brushes right now. Once you're finished with your head and your body, but take your time. Ours are completely wet.
Wet. He has the entire store, but he has to be right here with
Right
us.
where we're at. Yep. I feel like that's with any.
You like one?
So I can say while we're waiting for our gourds to dry, and I'm sure some of you are still painting away, so I'll just kind of sit back and relax for a little bit and explain a little bit more of our farming, of how we go through the process. I'll tell you what is coming up here in the fall of the process of them. So we start our gourds out in the greenhouse and we start them around May, would you say? We start planting them in May, and once they get about a couple inches tall, we'll take them outside and get them acclimated to the weather. And we'll do that for about 2 weeks. And then we will go and plant them. We do grow, like Dori said earlier, I believe you said,
Yeah.
between 20 and 30 acres of gourds every year. So however many plants that entitles is how many they will plant in the greenhouse. Now, I believe they do 2 different plantings. I think they do 1 planting, let that get acclimated, plant that in the ground, and then they do another one in the greenhouse as well. So once they are acclimated to the weather and they get hand put in the ground. We actually take a tractor around and punch holes into the tarp and hand plant each and every one of them. So it's pretty cool. So then we just let them grow. And then at the end of July, roughly, we will go out and hand pollinate all of those. So there is a moth that actually goes around and pollinates the gourds, but we just don't have like an abundance of them in the area. So we like to go out and hand pollinate so that we can grow more gourds.
The moths tend not to get to us early enough for our growing season. So if we would wait for the moths, our plants would not be, or our gourds would not be mature enough to actually go through the whole drying process too.
Yes. So to hand pollinate them, we will take a paintbrush. So something smaller than what we're using right now. We'll go and pick a male flower and we'll get the pollen all out of it. And then we'll go find a female and rub the pollen on the female. So, and we do that only 2 hours every evening because the blooms either bloom early in the morning or late at night. So we go in the evening when they are starting to open up and so we can see them a little bit better. We can tell there's a difference between a female and a male, and you just look at the very bottom. That's how I can tell. And if you don't see the little bulbs, I guess you could say at the top.
Like the beginning of you can almost see like the beginning of a gourd that it would get pollinated, it would grow into a full gourd.
Yeah. It's hard to explain it without showing.
But it is, but you can definitely tell the difference. But
Yes.
and you can normally do like 2 or 3 female flowers with 1 male flower.
Yes. And within that 2 hours that we're out there, most of us can do about 1,000 plants every night. And we do have to count, so that's how we know. So.
And you only have 1 night to pollinate a flower. So if the flower or the gourd does not get pollinated, the flower dies, and so does the gourd.
Yes.
So
that's why we go out almost every night so that we get new.
And I don't do this any longer because it would kill my back. So
Yes.
we bring in a bunch of high school kids who don't seem to mind bending all for 2 hours straight.
Yes. Because it does take a toll on your back.
Yes.
You do get used to it. But I can understand.
I don't.
So I told you what we do in the fall. So once that's done, we let them grow. And then the first frost hits, we go out and we cut them off the vines. Of course, it's still wet, so I'll keep going. So we cut them off the vines, we let them out over winter. So then springtime, a couple of years ago, we were actually out there in February.
Yeah, that's
Getting
early
them
though.
out of the
Most of the
field.
time it's March.
Yes, most of the time it is March. We don't want any snow on the ground to go out there. We need it to be pretty dry to go out and pick them up. So we'll go out and pick them up out of the fields. Once we get them out of the fields, we will actually sort them. So they're already sorted in the fields by the variety, but once they bring up into our storage areas, we need to sort them by size. So that's what we do. We have a little sorting belt and we will hand sort all of the gourds that come through.
These gourds touch human hands many, many times before they get to a house.
Yes. All right.
What did you do to your gourds? They're not drying.
I know.
Mine's pretty good.
I know, they're like extremely wet still. That's okay. So if some of you are still painting away, that's okay. Take your time. I'm gonna come to this hay bale. So we can go ahead and glue this wired stem into our hay bale. Honestly, what I would do, don't worry about hitting your Q-tip. I would just open your glue pot up and dip the other end. So you'll dip this end into your glue.
Hi, I didn't do that right.
And then you'll just stick that down into the hole of your hay bale.
Mine is starting to unravel a little bit, so I'm going to use the glue to kind of just twist it and make it smaller, and then I'm going to stick it back in the glue to stick into the hay bale.
Yes, and so sometimes I think that's what Doris did. She pushed it and it all kind of like pushed up.
Yeah.
Mine unraveled a little bit, but I like twisted it in the hay bale. So that's something you could do as well.
Then you have a little boo in your hay bale.
Yeah. And don't worry about any like extra glue that you see on the top of this. It does dry clear.
Which is really nice.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about everything we've gone over so far or and what we've done to the gourds? Okay, great.
Everything else together, I want to do one layer of the eyes, just because you can't really tell in the original here. There are 3 layers of that eyeball. So there's that white, black, and then white again. Just gives it a little bit more character. You don't have to do all 3. I'm going to explain how to do all 3, just in case that is something you want to do. So you will need your other Q-tip that you didn't use in your glue. You need your white paint. And what I'll say is, with that white paint, you're going to dip your Q-tip in there.
I can't get my white paint open.
I'm gonna dip a little.
You'll just need to dip the very tip of your.
I don't know what. I can get it open. Sorry.
They're like a pain. I want to get it all over me.
Well, I know. Oh, thanks, Mom. Okay. Okay, continue.
Yes. So you'll want to dip your tip of your Q-tip in, not quite halfway, just enough so that whenever you go and dab it onto your board, that it'll fill up. So what I'll tell you, the trick of these eyes is you're going to want to go up from the teeth, directly up, as you can see here, from the teeth. And that's how your spacing for your eyes are going to go. When you go and put your Q-tip onto your board, the harder you push, the bigger the eye. So if you don't want the eyes too big, do not push hard. That's a little tip. And sometimes, because I use Q-tips a lot to do eyes in the back, I will sometimes get like a bubble on that, and I just like to press on that bubble because sometimes when it dries, it'll actually not make sense. So I just like get that out of there, and I have my little eyes. So that's your first layer.
Okay. I didn't like my eyes, so I'm taking wipes and drying them off. They look like Cookie Monster eyes. So I'm going to try again.
Okay. And you're more than welcome to do your eyes differently. If you're a painter and an artiste, you can make your eyes look at whatever you would like.
Your eyes. Okay, mine are just a little bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still gonna be super cute.
Okay.
And you'll just make your, if your eyes are a little bigger, you just make your black dot a little bigger.
Yeah.
All right. Once you get those eyes on, the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna put the bat wings in. So you'll need your wings. Okay, so you'll want to look at your body. Sometimes the slits will be further in the front, and that is the front of your gourd. And sometimes they are curved to that side as to the front as well, like a C shape to the front. It honestly doesn't matter which side is the front. So I just want to say that's how we tell. So when you go to put your wings in, like I said, You're gonna want these humps to be on the bottom. And then you'll stick this pointy end into the gourd. And like I said earlier, it is a tight fit. So if you push and wiggle, that's gonna help get that in there pretty good.
It's pretty tight.
They are very tight.
And that's just so we don't have to glue them. They'll stay in there pretty.
Put that in there. This is the wiggle.
And what I also say is you want to make sure that you don't put your wings in too far. Let them angle down a little bit more, because when you go to put that head on, that wing is going to hit the head. So I would just take your head and kind of sit it on top and make sure your wings aren't touching the head. All you do is leave it pushed in where it's at, and you just pull it down just a little bit.
I got my wings in.
Upside down.
Oh, Susan, you got your wings in. Yep. Yeah, that is a tight little fit.
It is, for sure. Okay,
Touch those up.
so I know the white is still. Before we glue the head on, I'm gonna have us go ahead and do the base of our cord. That way we're not leaving too much. Everybody doing okay with those steps?
I don't have any questions in chat, so everybody, this is probably my favorite part, is like once the painting's all done and you start putting it together, it actually starts looking like a design rather than
Yes.
just pieces sitting all over the place. So
Yes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue our
Now that-
quad
I
down
can't remember
onto
what
our
it-
wood
I
biscuit.
can't remember it.
So now you'll need your wood biscuit, your body, and you'll need your little hay bale.
I'll have to repaint.
Once you got all those,
Did too.
how we're gonna glue them down is we're gonna take our tacky glue.
and that Q-tip that you used at the beginning
Yes.
with glue.
Now what I say is you're going to take some glue onto your Q-tip, flip your gourd over, and put a ring of glue on the very bottom cut of this gourd. You don't need a whole lot, but you need enough that it's going
I don't know if you're back.
Can you tell us how you did that wing again? Sorry, we're behind.
That's okay. What did you need me to explain?
The wing,
The wings.
The wings, okay. So the wings, all you'll need to do with them is you'll make sure that these, you can see like the humps on them, they go in the bottom. If I just hold it up here, I don't get glue all over them.
okay, so it's the bottom point,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you said to kind of wiggle it in a little bit?
Yeah, because it's a very tight fit. So just
Just a little bit.
wiggle and
Okay.
sounds like a dance.
I know. Also, whenever you are putting those wings in, you want to just take your head and put it in between them, just in case these are too close together. If they are too close together, all you do is you just pull them down just a little bit.
Got it, okay. Catching.
The glue, if you have, once you have the glue on the bottom, you can decide where you want to put it. Just make sure you leave enough room over on the side here for your hay bale. But don't worry if you can see the glue around the gourd, because it will dry clear.
Yes, we go to the side. Yeah.
Mhm. I did. That's okay. And you can also take your hay bale and just kind of like line it up with it, just in case just if you want to make sure. But you can go ahead and glue your hay bale as well. Actually, scratch that. Let's take your glue, and we're going to rub a whole bunch of glue on the base of this wood cookie. And let me do a little bit of it here, and I'll show you what I mean. But you want to make sure you leave enough glue to glue your head on then. So all I'm doing is rubbing this glue onto my wood base here. And that is so we can glue that hay bale on, and then we can come back and glue this greenery grass slash.
Hay, yeah, straw.
And you want a good bit of glue on there. Just like I said, leaving enough to glue your head on.
Do you go the whole way around the bat?
Yes,
Okay.
as you can see.
Yeah.
I'm going the whole way around,
Yeah.
but
If you don't want to, you don't have to. It just depends on how you're going to set this board in your phone. If you're gonna see the back of it, you I would. Again, like I said, make sure you get like a good, decent amount of glue on there. Just, it makes it easier for that bag of greenery hay stuff to stick. And you wanna make sure your hay bale sticks too. So once you get it covered, you can
if you
see,
can kind of see, yeah.
I'm gonna take my hay bale and actually put like a little glob of glue on the bottom of it, just so I know it's gonna stick. So I just put like a little glob of glue. And I'll stick that down on my board, or the wood biscuit.
All right. And
Glued it on. Wrong way.
And
Oh, that
then,
looks so cute. I think that looks super cute.
and then you'll wanna take your bag here of this stuff,
This is the messy part.
and you'll wanna go ahead and sprinkle that on.
Can you hang on 1 minute? I'm way behind. So you did glue along the bottom of the body? And stuck that on, and then you did face, hay bale?
Yeah. So you'll want to glue your bat body onto your wood biscuit here. And then I went ahead and put an entire base of glue on that wood cookie. And then I glued my hay bale onto that.
every time we move this glue, this stuff will come on.
And you can kind of press down when you're starting to glue this bag on. You can, push it down into the glue, and that way it'll stick, and then you can kind of shake it to the side, and the excess will fall off of it. If you want to, you could even put a little bit of glue on like the top of your hay bale and just sprinkle some on there too, if you'd like.
For sure. So just to explain how we did everything again, to get it to this part. So I glued the bat on, and then the hay bale, and then I spread the glue on the wood biscuit, and I took my bag here and I just sprinkled it on.
I'm making a mess.
That's all right. How's everyone doing?
Almost there.
Okay.
No worries. Take your time. We just do this a lot, so
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
yeah.
I noticed that several of the fall designs online are sold out. Do you know if those will be replenished at all before fall's over?
There will be some. A lot of the ones that are sold out now are going to be sold out. They're pretty much are through. We do have one more kind of run that may be coming through. So depending on what it is, I would look probably the middle of next week. I would just double check to see if it's still sold out. If it is, then more than likely it's going to stay sold out until next year. But we are going to be, like I said, we do have some runs coming through yet.
Okay.
That will be, yeah, that'll be put on next week.
We're sorry, we're trying to make as much as we can.
Maybe when we all retire, we can come help you paint.
Oh, there we go.
Well, we were doing really good, and then probably half of us got COVID. And so we were out for like 2 weeks, and that really slowed down production for a little bit. So
And I think it hit us in 2 different waves too. Like,
Yes.
half of us were one time and then
the other
of
half,
us were the other time.
Yeah.
So it just hit twice. So
I was lucky. I got it twice.
same.
Oh, bless you.
I don't know if that's luck or what that is.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Everyone ready for the next step?
Hey,
Okay, now you just dump this other stuff on.
Yep, you'll just dump it right on. Press it down a little bit into your glue so that it sticks really good.
and then you can just shake off the excess.
Yes.
One thing while people are still kind of following or finishing up here is the one thing that we're not going to be able to show you tonight is how to do the bow. Because it does take about at least 30 minutes for this glue to set up. So a lot of times if you try and put it on too, or try and tie the bow too early, you're going to decapitate your poor back. So I would wait until later on tonight, or if you want to make sure it's completely dry, just wait till tomorrow morning and tie the bow on. And one of the other things that we get asked a lot is whether or not you have to put a finish, like a polyurethane finish on this. The paint that we're using is actually a latex paint like you would use in your home. So you really don't need to. If you feel more comfortable, like kind of sealing it, you absolutely can. Use just like a polyurethane, and I know it comes in different sheens, like a gloss or semi-gloss or satin, and you can pick whichever one you like. You want to do the eyes?
Yes. So
Are you the one that showed us the trick on folding the bow on the bunny?
I'm sorry, can you
Were you
repeat that?
the one that showed us the trick on folding the bow on the bunny?
Yes.
Emily, or, yeah, can you show that to us? I
Yeah,
haven't-
we'll still show you how to tie it. It just won't be on our backs.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to tie my last ones like that again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do a refresher course for you.
for sure. All right, let's go and get that black dot on your eye. So I'm going to use the other side of my Q-tip. So you have your Q-tip that you used earlier for the white. I'm going to flip it and use this other side for the black. I'll just dip that in my paint. And this next step, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the eyes, and as if you were looking at a clock. There's a clock right up here, so I'm looking at what number it needs to go. You're gonna put it at as if you're looking at a clock and it's pointing at the 2 o'clock. I would say more 3, between 2 and 3 position on the eye, and I will show you here too. You just don't want it to be looking up.
Right.
There are mine. And you can make them as big or as small as you would like.
Okay, sorry, my dog was barking. What did you say?
Okay. Did you need us to explain how to do the black part?
Whatever you just said when you were.
Okay, can you explain it again?
Okay, so the part that we just did was the eye, the black part in the eye. I'll show you
Okay,
mine here. So that's the part that we did. And when you're looking at the eyes, you want to make sure that both of them, as if you were looking at a clock, they go at the like between 2 and 3 o'clock on like a clock. So that's where you'll put that black dot.
was thinking.
And then we'll have to wait for that to dry. But while we're waiting for that to dry, I don't think it'll hurt to go ahead and glue your head onto your body.
Just don't touch your eyes.
Yes. So we'll do that next. All you do is you flip that upside down and your sanded part, you'll put a good bit of tacky glue on the bottom there. Don't worry about putting too much because it dries clear and it's going to get covered by a bow. And then we're done with our glue. And you'll just center it on your board there. Just press it down because that'll also get it to like tack up a good bit.
It's cute. It's cute.
It's actually pretty cute. So I have to tell you, the Echo just came out this year, which is the bat that we're doing. It's probably one of my favorite boards that, I mean, I have lots of favorites, but he is just, I love putting him in the store because he makes me smile.
He's so cute.
Mm-hmm. He's absolutely adorable.
So I'm just waiting for the eye to dry so we can do the last little dot. At this point, if you think that you like how the eyes look now and you don't want to put that last little dot in the eye, you do not have to. I just think it looks a little bit better, but that's just my opinion. And so whatever you think is great.
I want to show them how to do the bow while we're waiting for that to dry. Let me get a bat here that's on the floor.
It's my keeper. I'm guessing it's gonna be.
I forgot. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to show you, or she's going to show you, how to tie the bow once your head is nice and set up.
Yes. Can you hold him for me?
Yes.
So I'm gonna try and show you this. Normally, whenever I go and tie my bows, I will hold the gourd in between my knees. So to do the bow, I would definitely hold it between your knees.
Okay. How would you like me to hold it?
So just hold it. Yeah, that's fine. I can actually, I'm gonna go around
Okay.
so that you guys can see it and it's facing you. So what you're gonna do is I normally take my bow and fold it in half. I'll take and wrap it around.
Wow. She's a strong bow tire.
My left hand is going to cross my right and it's just going to go up and pull. My left hand again, I'm going to make a loop, go over top with my right, down underneath and through the back here and pull. And that's how I go and do.
And then you'll just fluff it up and cut it off.
Yep.
You want to see that one more time?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm almost done.
I know. So again, I always go from my left side over my right. So you take your left, go over the right, go underneath and pull. And then you'll take your left side, go over the top, under, through the back where the hole is and pull. And then you'll just fluff it up.
Okay. So just remember to always start with your left hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got some pizza left over if you want for dinner, honey.
Now, we are recording this, which I'm sure you got notification. So we will be, I'll be sending out the video tomorrow sometime. And at that point, you can rewatch that over and over again until you get the bow the way you like it.
Yes. All right. So the last thing we need to do is put that little white fleck in the eye. So I'm going to grab my white paint And this time I'm going to use my toothpick. So you want to find your toothpick. You're gonna dip that into your paint. And then again, it's at the same position that you did the black. So the between that 2 and 3 o'clock is where you're going to put that little dot.
It would really help if I didn't shake.
Yeah.
The cross there. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here are my little eyes.
Those are good.
See them?
We cheated and did googly eyes. Show us.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever you want to do.
Where are you? There you are.
Oh, they're cute. Very cute.
Oh, they did turn out really nice.
Yeah, cute. Flying.
Oh, look at them. They were dancing. Oh, look at them.
They look so good.
They do. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about or anything about the class? Or any questions just about Meadowbrook in general?
When's the next one?
The next classes, the next Zoom classes are going to be in November. They should be listed in the October 1st newsletter or right around there. So just kind of keep your eyes open, or you can come back and check the website the beginning of October, because there'll be, I forget, I know one is a penguin scene, and I think another one is a scarecrow. So, or not a scarecrow, a turkey. So just keep your eyes open for those classes to be announced. The penguin may not be until December, but we are going to be doing a couple more Zoom classes till then. We had someone make a comment, which I thought was kind of cool. They buy one kit and do it with us. I shouldn't say that. They buy 3 kits or whatever, however many they want. They do one kit with us this night, and then they make additional and give them as gifts. And I thought that's a pretty neat idea, like at Christmas time or something.
Yeah.
You know, you can learn how to do it, and then when you have time, you can make the rest of the kits. So that's always an option if you want to do something like that. But there will be, I know, one in at least one in November and one in December.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi. Is there any way when you do the class that you can make yourselves larger, and then the person, you know, like you be on screen and then the participants smaller, so we can actually see more of what you're doing, because you're very small.
Okay, so like on our screen, we're the whole screen, but that's not what you're seeing?
I see like everybody who's on the Zoom and you, and we're all like the Hollywood squares.
Oh, she just needs to change her view.
Yeah, I think
You in the upper
when
right.
you
I try to, but I can't get you the instruction by itself, like large enough. So it's a little hard to see exactly what you're doing.
If you hover close to their window, can you get a little blue box and then click to pin them?
Yes. Try that. Yeah, when you're on the gallery, up in the top right-hand corner, it'll say mute, and then there's like a blue dot a blue square that has 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots and then look down through. There should be one that says pin.
Pin, okay.
And see if that makes us big.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Just for future reference, there you go.
Definitely. Oh, I can see everything now.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now I can't make us do it.
Oh, and I have one more question. I saw in your newsletter, I absolutely love your gourds. I think I have like 100 of them.
Oh my.
I've actually purchased some through Gallery 30 too. That's how I started to get to know your company.
Yes.
And because we go to Gettysburg a lot, my husband and I. And I was just curious. You have that giveaway, the bingo. I think it was the special word. If you
Oh,
do
the crossword.
the crossword, right? Would you do anything like that with people who? I'm in New Jersey, so I'm not there, but because that gourd that you're going to give away is really gorgeous. So I was wondering if you would do anything like that for people who are not local.
Well, you know what? That is an option. We had thought about doing something online where we would hide something like on our website, and we would give you clues as to where to go, and then you would have to like say what product it was on. But we didn't know if that would be of any interest, but I will keep it open now since you said that, and maybe that would be an option where
Yes.
we would give you clues of what products to go look for, and then you would have to submit.
I would love that. Yeah. I actually bought the crab one.
Yes.
I know that was a limited one, but and I just purchased a few more littles that you had. But yeah, I'm an avid collector. So yeah, but like I said, that one gourd was absolutely gorgeous that you're going to give away.
It is really neat. It's really neat. I have it in the store and everybody wants to buy it. And I'm like, nope, you got to go out to the sunflower.
Yes. No, but thank you. But thank you. No.
You're welcome. I will definitely bring it back up now because we had thought about it and then wasn't sure. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. For those of you who weren't sure what she's talking about, we are doing, since I told you we had our sunflower fields, we put 10 clues to complete a crossword puzzle. And you finish the crossword puzzle and you bring it back, and then you're in the drawing to win a gourd. If you're on our Facebook page, you can see the gourd itself. It's a ghost and it has a scene inside that you can kind of what they call them dioramics or something like that, where you can kind of see inside, and it's a really cute scene. So but we had thrown that around for people who weren't close by, so I'm gonna bring that back up now.
Yes, great.
Okay, well, if nobody has any other questions or anything, I think we're gonna say good night to everybody. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And if for some reason you do have a question and you think of it a half hour from now, like I said, in the chat, I did put my email. Please feel free to email me and I will get back with you tomorrow.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oops.